The Seal of Good Local Governance, or SGLG Incentive Fund, a performance challenge fund, was institutionalized by virtue of RA 11292, otherwise known as the Seal of Good Local Governance Act of 2019, and is a local government development program managed by the Council of Good Local Governance, composed of various national government agencies, or NGAs. Originally established in 2010, the program serves as a performance-based reform program of the DILG that seeks to rationalize intergovernmental transfers of the national government to local government units, or LGUs, and encourage the convergence of local development initiatives with national development agenda and priorities. Who are eligible to the SGLGIF? LGUs that pass the Seal of Good Local Governance, or SGLG, according to the assessment of the DILG for the current year, with no pending, ongoing, and not yet started PCF or SGLGIF projects during the previous years, and their proposed project are included in their LDIP or PDIP, shall be eligible to avail the SGLG Incentive Fund. The SGLG Incentive Fund subsidy shall be used to finance high-impact local development projects supportive of the following: good fiscal or financial administration or fiscal sustainability, disaster preparedness, social protection and sensitivity program, health compliance and responsiveness, program and sustainable education, business friendliness and competitiveness, safety, peace and order, environmental management, tourism, heritage development, culture and arts, youth development. The SGLG Incentive Fund shall not be utilized for the following: projects exclusively on training or capacity development, financing of microcredits and loans, administrative expenses such as cash gifts, bonuses, food allowance, medical assistance, uniforms, supplies, meetings, communication, water and light, petroleum products, and the like, salaries, wages, or overtime pay, traveling expenses, whether domestic or foreign, registration or participation fees on training, seminars, conferences, or convention, construction, repair or refurbishing of administrative offices, renovation, maintenance, repair, or refurbishing of current or existing projects, purchase of administrative office furniture, fixtures, equipment, or appliances, purchase of lot, and purchase, maintenance, or repair of any motor vehicle or motorcycles not directly used for the SGLG undertaking, pursuant to Section 12 of Republic Act No. 11292. And lastly, loan guarantee. Take note that the proposed project to be funded by the SGLG Incentive Fund must be new, whole, and single project, and not a component of other projects. Also, no interagency or LGU, NGO, or private counterpart for SGLG Incentive Fund projects is allowed. The SGLG Incentive Fund will be valid for utilization by recipient LGUs. Any unutilized funds must be reverted to the National Treasury per the following. For cancelled funds, no notice to implement secured. If in case before December 31, 2023, an LGU recipient determines that the funds can no longer be utilized, for example, when the project cannot be implemented for any reason, or when the same has been funded from other sources, or when the LGU failed to secure their notice to implement, the whole amount received by the said LGU shall be immediately reverted to the National Treasury. Notice to implement has been secured with no implementation. If in case within 9 months after receipt of notice to implement, an LGU fails to begin the implementation of the project, the whole amount received by the said LGU shall be immediately reverted to the National Treasury. For unexpended funds, any unutilized funds for completed projects upon payment of the final billing, including liquidated damages, shall be reverted to the National Treasury. The SGLG Incentive Fund subsidy amount received should not be utilized by the recipient LGU prior to the receipt of Notice to Implement or NTI from the DILG Regional Office. The date of issuance of NTI to recipient LGUs shall be considered the starting date of the project implementation. Herewith are the necessary minimum documentary requirements. Physical and digitized copy of the project proposal, which contains administrative or executive order creating the LGU SGLG Incentive Fund Project Implementation Unit or Team, program of works with detailed estimates and quantity takeoff, one picture of proposed site in high-resolution geotagged photos taken. For infrastructure projects, it must be consistent with existing national standards. We have project subtype. Under these are vertical projects, horizontal projects, and water projects. The general requirements are project permits, detailed engineering design or DED, detailed estimates, program of work, bar chart or S-curve, and billboards and safety signages. For non-infrastructure projects, under project subtype, procurement of brand new motor vehicle, procurement of ICT equipment, others, medical supplies, etc. Under general requirements, all procurement and bidding documents. For the procurement of brand new motor vehicles, the LGU recipient should secure first the NTI issued by the DILG Regional Office before requesting the Authority to Purchase Motor Vehicle or APMV. Notice to implement. Within 5 working days upon approval of the project proposal, the Regional Office shall issue a Notice to Implement or NTI authorizing the LGU start of the fund utilization, given that they conformed with the requirements. Project timeline. All projects must be completed and liquidated within 12 months upon receipt of the Notice to Implement from the DILG Regional Office. The date of receipt of Notice to Implement or NTI from the DILG Regional Office shall be considered the project's startup date. All LGU recipients are expected to implement the project based on the approved project proposal and program of works. Refund of unexpended balance after project completion. Unexpended balances shall be returned directly to the National Treasury within the implementation period, 1 full year from the date of receipt of NTI from the DILG Regional Office, following existing guidelines on the transfer of funds. Proof of such remittance or refund shall be submitted to the concerned DILG Regional Office. The same should be retained by the Regional Office, copy furnished to the Bureau of Local Government Development or BLGD. Monitoring and reporting. Progress monitoring. The LGU shall submit a monthly progress accomplishment report not later than the 5th day of the ensuing month. LGUs shall use the prescribed SWA and SORD template to ensure uniformity for uploading or encoding purposes. Data uploading on the SGLG Incentive Fund web application. To fast-track submission of SGLG Incentive Fund project accomplishment reports, recipient LGUs shall submit electronic copies of pertinent documentary requirements to the concerned cluster leaders, SGLG Incentive Fund provincial focal persons, and regional offices through channels. Reporting of completed projects. Within 10 calendar days of project completion, the LGUs shall submit the copy of their project completion reports or PCRs to the DILG Regional Office through channels. PCRs shall include the following: Certificate of Project Completion by the Local Chief Executive, 12 months warranty certificate signed by the contractor, copy of Statement of Receipts and Disbursement or SORD, 1 high-resolution geotagged JPEG photos of the completed project. Permanent markers. For horizontal projects, permanent markers shall be placed or displayed at the beginning of the completed infrastructure on either a concrete stand or post signage, single or double mounted, depending on the preference of the implementing office. For vertical projects, markers shall be installed on the wall near the entrance or main door, preferably within eye level. For vehicles, goods, and IT equipments or systems, permanent markers to be used are stickers. For vehicles, stickers shall be installed at the driver's side, left front door of the vehicle, whereas for goods or IT equipment, stickers shall be installed to the visible area where the equipment is placed and/or on the CPU of the main computer used. Further, LGUs are reminded to adhere and comply with the provisions of the governing GAA, particularly under prohibition on the attachment of the name, image, and likeness of public officials and government projects. Transparency in the implementation of projects. All recipient LGUs shall strictly follow the provisions of COA Circular Number 2013-004, dated January 30, 2013, entitled Information and Publicity on Programs, Projects, Activities of Government Agencies, as amended by COA Circular Number 2016-003, dated August 16, 2016.